And I am hearing that we are being joined soon on this show by the legend of legends, Vishy Anand, who has already won his match against Boris Gelfand today. So we will hand over to Tanya to ask Vishy all the tough questions. Vishy, congratulations on winning.
Yeah, thank you.
Anand, a big congratulations from all of us and all your fans on Twitter and everywhere watching us. My first question is, what were your first feelings? Happiness, relief at this match today?
Yes, I mean, obviously, it's not been quite so disastrous the last 3 days as the first three. But I mean, definitely it's nice to pull in a win. And I was probably in trouble in both my black games. But I mean, in the end, I managed to survive.
In the first game, and you said that you feel that you were in trouble. This knight a4 sacrifice for the pawns looked very interesting. Was it part of the plan or a necessity at that moment?
No, it's a thing because I mean, I'm forced to, after e4, having just played e6, I'm forced to play a5 because I mean, I simply don't see any other way, but I have to fix that bishop and hope that these. The only thing I saw was this, I mean, what he did after knight b5, I had to come up with this knight h5 and back. Bishop e3, bishop d7, and then yeah, I go back to f6, and now I think I have enough play because that knight takes a4 will work in many lines, and well, it did. He went d5, and I thought maybe he shouldn't have played bishop e4. He should have tried to make me take on c3. I mean, sorry, on g3. But I don't really know what's going on here. Maybe rook b1 is good. No, but then knight d6. Or perhaps I'm okay here. I just don't know. I didn't want to check that because I wanted to get ready for the white game.
During the game, you were just evaluating this position as complex, or you felt that what was your evaluation
here?
here?
After b5, I'm very happy. In fact,
right.
I was already trying to be better with. So first of all, I don't know if I need to go rook b8, but yeah, I mean rook d8 because rook b8 d6 is annoying. So I went rook d8 instead. That's correct. He went bishop f4. And at first I thought rook takes f4 and bishop c5. But first he has knight takes c4 and rook c1. But second he has rook b1, which is not what I want. So after bishop f4, I had to play bishop d6. I mean, I don't know if something very sophisticated like rook e7 and rook b7 works. But I mean, given that I thought I was in trouble earlier, I'm already very happy to be in this situation. I thought he could repeat after rook d7. If he goes back to b6, I'm not sure that I'm really going to do anything other than this. I thought he should have repeated because clearly my pawns are quite strong already. I mean, I will lose one of them, but two of them will get far enough that even when I'm a rook down, there are lines where I'm making a draw because the pawns get thing and he will have to sacrifice. So let's say rook on c6, rook on c1 against a pawn on d3 and pawn on c2, he'll have to take on c2. But it's not like I was making calculations here. I mean, it's. But here I felt that because I have a rook on the d file, I went king h7 first because I thought I should make his other rook make a move. And after rook a1, yeah, I think I'm very happy here. Maybe I can even start with c2. But what did I do? Rook did I go a4? Ah, that's very good. And then, yeah, and now just rook takes d7 is over. Yeah. I was surprised because it looks like I shouldn't be better, but somehow the king and the rook are in the wrong place, and that's enough. Rook e1, b3, and I go rook d2 and b2, and I get a pass pawn.
Yes, this was a really beautiful last position, Anand. But even after you sacrifice the piece for those pawns, the engines which the engine bar, which is not, it's not the strongest one, but it did say white was fine. But it's also a very difficult position to play with white, with the time
Yes,
and everything. It's just easier.
Yes, you're right. In this tournament, I think we see clearly that there are positions, and then there is this what feels comfortable. So objectively, white may, and even I had positions which objectively are good, but it's so easy to lose control in this format that clearly I'm spoiled for choice, because I have I can play A4, B4, C3, you know. And whereas for white, it's very difficult to calculate everything, and his time was running down. So I think at the very least, I'm going to make a draw comfortably, and then, but he's the one who has to be careful already.
And that's a very interesting point about there being two aspects to this format, the position on the board and the format itself, the time situation. And so far in this...
Trust me, I've been exploring that topic. Yeah, but...
Yes, and so far in this tournament, it does look like the clock has been the bigger factor than the actual position and the quality of play.
Well, yes, I think that was the idea of the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, this tournament is not a business tournament. It's not about quality. So.
Right. Well, fair enough. Anand, moving on to the second game, it looked like it was even throughout, and then this inaccuracy with knight c8 at the end, and immediately the moment where you jumped with your knight to f5. Did you feel that that was the moment when things went wrong for black?
Yes,
or
I mean, knight c8 is a bad move, but it's not trivial for him anyway here, because after rook e1 I have, so if he doesn't play knight c8, first of all, I'm threatening rook a2 and collecting that pawn. Second, I'm threatening knight g3 to e4, and then either knight f6, knight e8 check, or knight e8 check, and then the other knight. So that king could end up in some sort of mating attack, and again, it may be possible to defend, but not in this format.
One of those, the same example of just easier to play with white again. And I think that's a very...
I mean, white has got the pawn on h5. He's got two c pawns, and maybe there's a rook b2, b7, or rook a2, a7. And my other knight, in fact, there's a nice tactic I can play here. If it was my move, I could play knight e8 check, king g8, let's say, and then the other knight to e4. Yeah, so knight e8 check, and the other knight to e4, and you know, things open up, possibilities open up. So it's definitely not going to be a comfortable draw for black.
Right, Anand. And then you didn't give any chance after knight f5. Was there anywhere that he had an opportunity, or do you think it was pretty much...
I mean, I thought knight c8 and then knight g5 and game over.
Right.
I mean, that was my feeling during the game. I could be wrong, but I felt that this is not defensible.
Yeah, I think this was just, it was over really quickly and flawlessly played as well after this mistake. Now, game 3, and I just want to talk briefly about that. Up 2 points. What is the general feeling? It's very difficult for players to come back being 2-0. So were you feeling confident about the match already, or what was the feeling going into game 3?
Well, 2-0 is 2 point lead is better than a 1 point lead, as I found out against Leko. But even 2 point leads can disappear. I mean, it's not like he's, well, let's put it this way. In order to come back from a 2 point lead, you'll have to make it a 1 point lead, which means I have double the chance to survive. But you still have to hold one game, and it's only after you hold one game that you get through. So, I mean, if I'd lost with black and then I'm playing with white, then I get into this awkward situation. How do I want to play very solidly? Do I want to? And things can go wrong, like with Nepom Nishi yesterday. So, yeah, but I felt that he was better here as well. But then he played 22 knight d2, and I thought that was the mistake. Though, if you pressed me to say what exactly you should have done instead, I don't know. But knight d2 was a mistake exactly because I get this bishop f6 and e5 and knight b3 and knight a1, and I get the e4 trick.
Right, this was a nice trick.
And that's the key to the whole thing.
Yes. Right, and So it was always, even though you were a pawn less here, you always had the initiative, and
I have
it,
compensation, and
yes.
but no, but white is better. I have no doubt
Okay.
that if
Anand, it's also
run it with
interesting.
an engine, white will be better. That's clear.
Yes, but we've spoken about this engine evaluation, especially in this format, are mean absolutely nothing. And very interesting what you said about having a 2-point lead, but it's easy to lose out on it also, because which is what we saw in the Vassal Kramnik game. Ivanchuk leading by 2 points, but Kramnik came back and now it's 2-1, and that's it reduces really quickly, and then the pressure, it's not so easy, so it's really not over till it's over in this match format.
Yes, I mean in any match format, a lead getting reduced puts a lot of pressure on you, and you feel it also. You feel that you lose some confidence, and then
Yes.
the lead is narrower and it's tougher.
And it's been, despite very high level of play from you, and the games actually have been, the quality has been high, but it's been a very tough event as far as the score is concerned. What's personally for you been the biggest challenge? I mean, I get the format, but is it the Armageddon which has been difficult? What is the biggest challenge in this format for you?
Well, I would say I simply forgot about Armageddon because I've forgotten what it's like without an increment. So when you have an increment, even if it's 2 seconds, you can bash moves when you think. But here, like we saw yesterday, both the black players, there's nothing they could do because essentially the Armageddon is flipped. So normally this tournament is let's say it's a chess game where the clock can intervene. But the Armageddon is the opposite. It's a clock banging session where the board can intervene. I mean, if mate or something happens, then it overrules the clock, but it's flipped. And it doesn't, I mean, I don't care about the Armageddon. I mean, I'm not going to press myself with it, but it's a pity I didn't play the main tournament better.
Right, that's quite nicely put. And just, I know I don't want to keep you for too longer, but just besides how the chess has gone, what's been the experience playing in this event, in this online event, with players that you've had over the board, long history with? Just your experience, are you enjoying it despite the score, or is the score overshadowing that?
No, I mean, it's not even, well, of course the score overshadows everything. So, but we're not in the same room. I mean, I'm getting fed up with the Zoom world, to be honest. I mean, no, I really hope we can see each other's faces again, because it feels surreal. I'm sitting here alone, and I'm sitting home. My son wanders in once in a while, and it just doesn't feel real. On top of that, for me personally, 7:30 is a very unpleasant time because normally we don't have a game that starts that late.
I couldn't agree with you more about missing the environment and the feel of playing over the board chess. So safe to assume that you're looking forward to the return of over the board chess?
I'm looking forward to the return of over the board life. It's not only the chess. I mean, this, like I said, I've had more Zoom than I ever want to remember.
Fair enough, Anand. Thank you so much for joining us. And before we let you go, you're playing Ding tomorrow. Just your thoughts about the game tomorrow?
Nothing yet.
All right, fair.
Finished today and I have the whole day tomorrow.
All right, we wish you all the best and we look forward to seeing you in action tomorrow, Anand. Thank you for joining us.